Dogs don't love everyone equally. If you have ever wondered why your dog follows one person from room to room, sleeps pressed against their leg, and greets them like they've been gone for a year, even though you fed them, walked them, and played with them just as much, there's a reason. And it isn't random. It isn't just about who hands out the most treats. The way a dog picks their favorite person is actually backed by science, rooted in psychology, brain chemistry, and something called attachment behavior. Most people assume it comes down to who feeds the dog, or who's simply around the most. But the truth is far more interesting. Dog attachment has been studied by animal behaviorists and neuroscientists for years, and what they've found challenges a lot of the assumptions we grew up with. Bonding isn't random luck, and it isn't fixed forever either. It's shaped by specific patterns of behavior, timing, and emotional connection. Patterns that anyone can understand, and more importantly, patterns that anyone can influence. Today we're breaking down exactly how this happens. 5 real research-backed reasons dogs bond more deeply with one person over another. Some of these will confirm what you already suspected. Others might completely change how you think about your daily routine with your dog. And stick around for the final reason, because it's something you can actually start doing today to become your dog's #1 person. Let's get into it. Number 1. The socialization window. Every dog goes through what behaviorists call a critical socialization period, roughly between 3 and 12 weeks of age. During this short window, a puppy's brain is like a sponge, rapidly forming impressions about what is safe, what is normal, and who can be trusted. The people, sounds, and experiences a puppy is exposed to during this stage leave a lasting imprint that shapes their personality and their attachment style for life. This is why a dog who was raised by one consistent caregiver during those early weeks often forms an unusually strong bond with that person. Even years later, it's not sentimentality, it's neurological. The brain quite literally wires itself around the first faces, voices, and routines it experiences as safe. Of course, this doesn't mean a dog can't form new favorite person bonds later in life. Dogs are remarkably adaptable, and rescue dogs prove this every day, forming deep new attachments long after puppyhood. But if you've ever noticed that your dog seems to have an inexplicable soft spot for whoever raised them from the very beginning, this is why. The socialization window sets the emotional blueprint, even if life adds new chapters to the story afterward. Number 2, who feeds them. But it's not just about food. It's tempting to assume dogs simply love whoever fills their food bowl. And yes, food matters. Dogs are food-motivated animals, and consistent feeding builds trust. But research into canine attachment shows it's not the food itself that creates the bond. It's the consistency of care surrounding it. Think about what feeding actually represents to a dog: a predictable routine, a person who shows up at the same time every day, someone whose presence reliably signals safety and provision. It's less about calories and more about dependability. A dog that is fed by a rotating cast of people, with no consistent routine, often shows weaker attachment than a dog who is fed by the same person, at roughly the same time, day after day. This is actually connected to something psychologists call secure attachment. In early childhood development, and dogs show a strikingly similar pattern. It's not the resource itself that builds the bond, it's the reliability of the person providing it. A dog learns this person shows up for me consistently, without fail, and that consistency becomes the emotional foundation of trust. So if you want to strengthen your bond through feeding, it's not about being the one who occasionally tosses a treat. It's about being the steady, predictable presence they can count on. Number 30, energy matching. Calm people attract calm dogs. Here's something most dog owners don't realize. Dogs are constantly reading and mirroring human energy, often without either party noticing it's happening. This connects to what neuroscientists call mirror neurons, brain cells that fire both when an animal performs an action and when it observes that same action or emotional state in another being. Dogs are exceptionally attuned to this kind of emotional mirroring. If you come home stressed, tense, and erratic, your dog often absorbs that energy, becoming anxious or hyperactive in response. But if you're calm, grounded, and steady, your dog is far more likely to settle into that same calm state around you. This is a huge part of why dogs often gravitate toward the calmest, most emotionally regulated person in a household. It's not that they love that person more inherently. It's that being near them feels physiologically safer. Their nervous system actually downregulates in that person's presence. Cortisol, the stress hormone, has been shown to drop in dogs who spend time with calm, secure handlers. So if you want your dog to seek you out as their safe harbor, the work isn't just external, it's internal. Managing your own stress and showing up with steady, predictable energy sends a clear signal to your dog, being near me is safe. And dogs remember exactly who makes them feel that way. This also explains a common household pattern. In families with multiple people, dogs often gravitate toward whoever handles chaos with the least visible tension. Not necessarily the person who plays with them the most, or even the person who is home the most often. It's the emotional climate a person carries with them that dogs respond to on a subconscious level, almost like a barometer reading the room before anyone says a word. Number 4C. Positive association. Tone, not words. Dogs don't understand English, Spanish, or any human language the way we do. They don't process our sentences word by word. Instead, research shows dogs process human speech more like we process music, paying far more attention to tone, pitch, rhythm, and emotional inflection than to the actual words themselves. This is why a dog can tell the difference between "good boy" said warmly and the exact same word said flatly or sarcastically. The words are identical, but the emotional music behind them is completely different, and dogs pick up on that difference instantly. Over time, dogs build an internal association with each person's voice based on the emotional tone that person most consistently uses. If your voice is usually warm, encouraging, and gentle, even during corrections, your dog begins to associate your voice itself with safety and positivity. But if a voice is frequently sharp, frustrated, or harsh, dogs can develop a subtle wariness toward that person, even if that person means well. This is one of the most overlooked factors in the favorite person equation. It's not really about what you say to your dog. It's about how your voice consistently makes them feel. Every interaction is essentially a small emotional deposit, or withdrawal, into that relationship. Number 5. Quality time vs. quantity. 10 focused minutes beats 3 distracted hours. This might be the most surprising point of all. The sheer number of hours you spend near your dog matters far less than most people assume. What matters more is the quality of attention during that time. Picture 2 scenarios. In the first, someone sits on the couch for 3 hours scrolling their phone while their dog lies nearby, largely ignored. In the second, someone spends just 10 focused minutes actively engaging with their dog, real eye contact, play, gentle touch, undivided attention. Research on human-animal bonding consistently shows that the second scenario builds a stronger attachment. Even though the time invested is dramatically shorter, dogs are incredibly perceptive when it comes to detecting genuine engagement versus passive presence. Focused attention, where you're actually present, responsive, and interactive, triggers stronger bonding hormones in both the dog and the person, including oxytocin, often nicknamed the love hormone. Distracted, passive time together simply doesn't create the same neurochemical connection. This is genuinely good news for busy dog owners. You don't need to rearrange your entire schedule to become your dog's favorite person. You need pockets of real, undivided attention, even short ones, sprinkled consistently throughout the day. 10 minutes of a real game of fetch, a focused training session, or simply sitting on the floor and giving your dog your full attention can do more for your bond than hours of passive coexistence. It also means that guilt many dog owners carry, the feeling that they're not doing enough because they work long hours or have a busy schedule, is often misplaced. A dog doesn't measure love in hours logged on the couch together. They measure it in moments of real connection, however brief those moments might be. Consistency in showing up fully, even briefly, will always outweigh long stretches of half-hearted presence. So let's recap what actually determines a dog's favorite person. Early socialization shapes the emotional blueprint. Consistent care builds trust. Calm energy creates safety. Gentle tone builds positive association. And focused attention deepens the bond faster than passive time ever could. And here's the most important part. This last one, quality time, is something you can put into practice today. Not next week, not when things calm down. Today, a single 10-minute session of real, focused connection can start shifting how your dog feels about you. Your dog didn't choose you by accident. Somewhere in that wagging tail and those hopeful eyes is a mix of early imprinting, consistent care, emotional mirroring, the sound of your voice, and the quality of the moments you've shared together. Your dog chose you for a reason. The question is, are you choosing them back every single day? If this video helped you understand your dog a little better, give it a like, subscribe for more science-backed dog content, and let me know in the comments. What's one thing your dog does that shows you're their favorite person? See you in the next one.